all know how difficult it can be to stick to a routine or to build new habits and even to build self-discipline. But with the right techniques, you can be able to build the self-discipline that you need to achieve the goals that you want or to be the type of person that you want to be. In this video, I'm going to share with you guys 5 tips that I use to keep myself disciplined and to keep my habits in check. Now, before we even get started on listing the habits, what is self-discipline? Self-discipline is the ability to control one's own behavior, thoughts, and emotions in order to achieve a particular goal or set of goals. It involves making a cautious effort to regulate one's own actions and reactions and to resist the temptation to give into immediate gratification or distraction. When I started learning UI/UX design, I didn't have a clear picture of what I wanted to do with it. So after sitting down and thinking, I decided that I wanted to become a UI/UX designer, and I also wanted to share my videos on YouTube and help other people who are going to start coming up as UI/UX designers. And that helped me structure my work and structure what I was learning, because I'm a self-taught UI/UX designer and it can be a bit overwhelming if you don't know exactly where you want to be. So me knowing that I wanted to get a job, I knew the steps that I needed to take to get there. And so the job was my North Star, which was the goal, and it helped me structure my whole life to get to that point. The first step of being a self-disciplined person is to understand what you're fighting for. Is it to have a better life? Is it to be a more healthy person? It doesn't really matter. The goal is up to you, but you need to have something that you're fighting for. Dr. Viktor Frankl wrote in his book, A Man's Search for Meaning, what man needs is not attentionless state, but a striving and struggling for a worthwhile goal. In the movies, the part of the movie that is so exciting is when the protagonist is fighting towards something. It could be saving the world, it could be winning a dancing competition, it could be baking the best cake, but it's about that goal. Getting there is what makes the movie worth watching. It's what makes life more exciting, knowing that you have something to fight for. So the first thing you need to do is pick something to fight for. Find something to fight for. I know you've heard people say, don't set goals, build systems instead. But the truth is, you need both. Because a system without a goal is like running on a treadmill. And a goal without a system is like trying to get somewhere without knowing the road or the directions. So you need both. You need the destination. And yeah, they say, life is not about the destination, it's about the journey. But we have these tiny destinations in our lives that help us move forward each and every step, because we want to see progress and we want to achieve things. So when you build these small destinations for the longer journey, that's what goals are all about. Small destinations in the longer journey. And your goals will continue to grow and evolve as time goes on, because with the systems that you will build during that time, you will be able to grow as a human being and you will be able to increase your knowledge. The goal is your North Star, and always set actionable goals. When I was preparing for my Chinese exam, I was so laser focused on passing it, and I neglected pretty much every other area of my life. I stopped eating right, I stopped exercising, I would barely leave my room, and even if I left my room, I would always have my Chinese book with me and my past papers with me, because I didn't want to waste any time not studying Chinese. And I remember the time I was studying Chinese, the World Cup was actually happening, and I would have my book with me while I was watching the World Cup and just going through the characters and just trying to, study or something like that. But something that I didn't realize is that it's okay to take a break and it's okay to, step aside and reset. But it feels like you don't have time to waste, and each and every moment that you might not be studying might be wasted. This brings me to my second point, which is understanding your strengths and weaknesses, and that sometimes your strengths can also be your weaknesses. You need to understand your strengths and leverage them and use them in the right way. Here are some techniques that I use to understand my weaknesses. And the first one would be to journal. It has been very helpful for me, especially for the last year. I remember I started consistently journaling last year, and it has helped me understand or see patterns in my behavior. It also helps me reflect and understand that even though you're going through a difficult time, you will get through it and you get past it, especially if you go back to your old journal entries and start reading them again. you will realize, you'll be like, oh my gosh, I remember this time and I was so sad, I was so hopeless, but I came over it and I came out on the other side. So journaling is very important. The second one would be to talk to people you trust. It could be your friends, it could be your family, people who you know will be honest with you and want the best for you, and ask them, what do you think are my strengths and what do you think are my weaknesses? And you can also, the other point, you can also write down, you can also create two lists, one having your strengths and the other one having your weaknesses, and then try to ask people around you, like, do you think this is my strength or do you think this is my weakness? And then hear what they say, because sometimes you might think something is your strength, but someone seeing you from the other side, or someone seeing it from the other side, will tell you this isn't good for you. So write down what you think your strengths and your weaknesses are and ask people around you. And the last tip would be to try new things. Trying new things will push you and help you get to know yourself even better. It could be creating a YouTube channel, it could be tutoring people, it could be helping out people who need help with something. Just try and push yourself, and you will know which areas you're strong in and which areas you're weak in and which areas you would want to improve. So just try new things and go out there. The world is there, baby. Just go out there and take the walls and take the world by storm. 2 years ago, I was trying to lose weight. I was at 105 and now I'm at 79 kilos. I was trying to lose weight in the most unsustainable way. I was trying to get to that, 75 kgs as quick as possible without thinking about the process. I tried starving myself, I tried keto, I tried whichever diet that's there, I tried it. And it didn't work because I was miserable and I would always go back to binging. And so I was stuck in a cycle. But after I realized that this wasn't working and this wasn't sustainable, I realized that I just needed to take it slow. I needed to learn. I needed to understand what I was doing. I needed to understand what nutrition was. I needed to understand what fitness was. I needed to understand why I was always having acne, because I was lactose intolerant. I needed to understand all those things. And the only way that you get to understand that is by taking the time, being patient, and learning. This leads us to the next point, which is building a system or replacing old habits. In Atomic Habits, James Clear talks about the compounding effect. He talks about getting 1% better every day, and by the end of the year, you will be 38 times better than you were before. And because of that, I have come to learn that small changes accumulate and come to produce remarkable outcomes. An example of the things that you could be doing to help improve yourself would be to clean up your desk after studying, because you know that the next time you want to study, it will help reduce the friction of you having to clean up the desk. Putting out your workout gear the night before. Meal prepping, it's all about reducing friction, and it's all about doing the smallest things to help your life get better and to reduce the gap between you and your good habits and increase the gap between you and your bad habits. Practicing mindfulness is very important when it comes to building self-discipline. Practicing mindfulness will help you ensure that you stick to your systems. The reason why people often revert to their old habits is because they give in to their feelings. I often find myself procrastinating when I have something to do or when I find something difficult that I have to do. But because I often question myself and I ask myself why I'm feeling this way, it helps me realize that, I might be afraid or I think something is difficult. And it helps me realize that I'm not just feeling lazy, but instead it's fear. And I just force myself and I use my willpower to get started. And your emotions are what really drives you, like on a day-to-day. If you're going to be productive, usually it's because you're in a good mood that day or you're in a productive mood that day. And if you are very unproductive, it's because you're in a bad mood, you feel sluggish, and it's all about the feelings. So if you learn to understand your feelings and you learn to understand your state of mind, you will know that, I'm sad about that. That's why I'm not feeling like working today. Or I'm so afraid of applying for jobs. That's why I keep procrastinating on creating my resume, or I keep procrastinating on studying because, I'm afraid of applying for jobs and I feel like I'm going to fail. So what's the point of studying? So it's all about understanding your state of emotion and understanding that your emotions don't really have the best intentions for you sometimes, and you just have to learn how to get through it and use your willpower. Now this is where you have to realize that, okay, I'm down, but I have to be strong and I have to pull myself out of this. And you might go take a walk, you might take a shower, you might play with your dog, you might talk to someone, you might journal. It's all these things that will help you get yourself out of your head. The secret is to get yourself out of your head, and if you practice mindfulness, you will realize, okay, I'm procrastinating. Why am I procrastinating? Okay, I'm sad. Why am I sad? Okay, I am upset. Why am I upset? It's all about understanding your emotions and not letting your emotions control you. When I was in university and I was trying to learn how to be more productive, I would always create a to-do list, step by step, hour by hour, what I'm going to be doing, how long I'm going to be doing something, what's going to happen for the rest of my day, how productive I'm going to be. And I would pretty much do maybe one or two things on that list. If I started doing something and something didn't go according to plan, or if one thing just didn't work out, for example, I said today I wanted to design something and I wanted to use Figma, and I need Wi-Fi to work with Figma, and for some reason the Wi-Fi doesn't work that day, or for an hour or 2 hours the Wi-Fi might be down. That means everything else that was on my list, or the other things that I wanted to do that day, would be out the window because I let that 1 hour or 2 hours of the Wi-Fi not working ruin my day. So it's important to realize that things won't always go according to plan. Even if you create a to-do list, you create your calendar, you decide to do whatever, you create whatever Notion, dashboard, whatever you want to do, always keep in mind that things don't always go according to plan. And if they don't go according to plan, if for example the Wi-Fi doesn't work, find something else that you can fit in, or find something else that you can do during that time. Don't let things not going according to plan stop you from following your system or sticking to your goals. Find a way to work around it. If you have an obstacle, find a way to work around it, work over it, go through it, whatever it is. Don't give up, don't be discouraged, and just know that you're getting somewhere. Another thing to remember is that you might not figure this out in one day, and you probably won't. And the truth is, you have to try different things and try new things. Even though you don't know what your goals are, or you don't know what you want to be, I'm sure you have an idea of what you don't want to be. So it can be best to start there. What do I want to be? I don't want to be a person who is rude. I don't want to be a person who is lazy. I don't want to be a person who stays in bed the whole day. I don't want to be a person who doesn't work out. I don't want to be a person who doesn't eat right. You can start from there and then slowly get to discover things that you love and discover the person that you want to be through trying new things, trying different things, meeting new people, and just being open to experiences. But don't do drugs. That said, thank you guys for watching, and if this video was very helpful, don't forget to like and subscribe. It will help me out a lot, and I'll see you guys next time.